All right, now, guys, before we get into the Lamar Jackson combine highlights, I want you guys to let me know if you think there's a possible agenda being pushed with Lamar Jackson. Now, I'm not saying, well, it's up to you guys to say if it's positive or negative. But if you look, I'm on the actual NFL YouTube channel. You see Lamar Jackson on the second to last. Lamar Jackson best and worst throws during the combine. And then if you look to the left of those two videos, you see Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen put on the show, and then you see Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold show off their skills. So, um, I find it a little odd that the top five quarterbacks being talked about, four of them they get credited with putting on the show, having a great combine, and then let's just say Lamar Jackson, we're gonna show his best and worst throws. So let me know what you guys think about that. But we're jumping right into the combine video.
Warming up while the 40s were going on. Here's Lamar Jackson, and they're just warming him up and doing some movement drills with him also. He's never been under center, so the footwork thing is new for him, but he's got a whippy arm like Michael Vick.
When you late, now you're dipping into my pocket, right. So I go from a second-round pick because you're throwing me these late passes.
Hard as you can run, and then almost after that, you're looking up and really gliding.
There's Deshaun Hamilton from
fourth row, great catch.
I can't tell you how hard that catch is right there. To be running that fast, Mike,
right.
Turn around and catch that ball, that's an incredible grab.
Lamar Jackson throwing that to Aikman.
Dropping it in right in the bucket.
As advertised, the accuracy stuff, 56% in college, obviously well documented, but the kid can rip it. I mean, he gets out here and throws it. So, a little shaky with the first couple throws, but that's to be expected. These guys will start warming up and be just fine.
Here's Lamar.
Remember, a lot of these guys have never been under center in their lives, so the footwork is brand new to them. And David, I'm a big believer that your feet and your eyes as a quarterback have to be connected. Go ahead, David.
No, you're right, and you saw him, and you guys talked about it a little bit. Josh, when he was going through his 7-step drop, he's back at 10 yards, so he's got a big stride, and it doesn't look like he's exerting a lot of energy. So that's a really good sign if you're a quarterback coach.
And here's Lamar Jackson. Remember, never been under center. He's got a very whippy arm.
Yeah, that's arm kind of pops off at you as far as the velocity goes.
Right.
The ball placement is what he's going to be judged on here, but
he's not kind of. I think he's trying to be careful here. I want to see him drive it.
Right, let it go. His hips closed off, like he's kind of just guiding it.
Yeah, I think he's trying to be accurate here. Just open it up and rip it.
Yeah. It was all there, so you can throw as hard as you want, but unless you can drop it right where it needs to be, right inside those numbers, it's not worth much.
David, I've showed a bunch of young quarterbacks over the years. Matt Ryan throwing skinny post from under center play action with his, and then get right. And he doesn't have the biggest arm, but his skinny post
ball placement is crazy,
unbelievable. Correct?
Yep, absolutely. Matt's as good as anybody.
And that's what you're talking about, right there.
Lamar Jackson, the Heisman Trophy winner in this group.
Some good throws there.
Throw, yep.
Oh man, he called you out, Kurt.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a duck right there, and there's the Lamar. Several times a game, that comes out of his hand, and you go, "Why is that? What's that?" And that's why some people around the league are saying, "Oh, he's a wide receiver." I think he's a quarterback, and I think it starts with what he does with his legs, but you can see with the drop, a lazy drop.
Yeah, just hasn't done it a lot. You can tell. He just doesn't feel comfortable there yet. But
that looked effortless and went about 50, 60 yards in the air.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 step. There you go. There's a better throw.
It's a good throw. No, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch him.
Hey, David, I think what's forgotten in that conversation is the hire of Greg Olson also. Everybody
that's
talks,
a great point, Mike.
Everybody talks about Gruden. He's great with quarterbacks, but on a daily basis, Greg Olson is really good with young quarterbacks. Right?
Exactly. And I also think Greg, just being around the Los Angeles Rams and what they did, and with their offensive system, I think it's going to help John a lot as far as terminology. And I know, firsthand, the terminology is not going to be what John's going to have his verbiage, but it's not going to be what it once was, where it was a paragraph to get the play called when you're in Tampa. So
evaluators take notice, and it might actually affect things in the upcoming evaluation season. You have the floor on that, sir.
Well, we talk about the quote franchise quarterback, and we talk about all the time there aren't 32 of them. There's maybe 8, 10, 12 of them, whatever that number is.
Not even half the league enough, right?
So what general managers and coaches are talking about right now around the league, because I've had this conversation with them, is, okay, all of a sudden Philadelphia Eagles won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles at quarterback. The Minnesota Vikings almost got to a Super Bowl with Case Keenum at quarterback. It's the same. You don't get that feeling very often, but I got it with Carson Wentz, and that's what you want with if you're taking the number 1 or number 2 pick in the draft for the future of your franchise.
Lamar Jackson out there throwing at the combine. What have you been able to evaluate so far from watching him today, Mike?
Just skittish and erratic, and I don't think this is the forum for him. I think what he is think of a playground hoop game. You know, pick up hoops. I mean, you know how winners keep the court? You know, you got 27 guys waiting to get the court in a pickup hoop game.